Alrighty, good morning everybody. It is Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. Still here, survived that solar eclipse. And let's go ahead and jump back and take a look at yesterday. So we'll pull this bad boy back. And it looks like I do not have my vertical line on here. So let's throw that up there. And let's take a look at what happened. So pre-market, as you guys can see, actually in the overnight session, we held right off our scaffolding and came up to test into the high the day before. And as you can see, out of the open yesterday, the bulls just did not have enough strength to really hold the market up. And that's basically got the slightly lower high. And then the breakdown, the crossover, and then we started the trek lower. And there's that first tag of the 200 after the crossover. So you had a great opportunity there to fade the market as we were failing in the correct orientations. You also had some great to the tick opportunities right off 50% of the previous day. I mean, arguably the Hopeful as well, right? They were both basically the same level yesterday. And if you would have bought either one, you would have got this little bounce right up to the 200. So there were some decent little opportunities in that first hour of the open. And then from there, as you guys can see, it was like a really nice stair step down the roadmap level. So they could not quite stay above the high of the day before, fell down below that, had trouble right around the close of the day before, peaked into the 200, and then we came down, parried off of the back end of the previous daily low. Again, I mean, we're talking about maybe 2 points of a break, you know, holding there, and then riding down the fast moving average. So it was one of those really nice days where you could just fade the market and trade in the direction of what looked to be the beginning of a decent downtrend. So great opportunities to get short. I mean, the best one being that tag of the 200 there within the first 45 minutes of the open. So you should have recognized that we were failing, recognizing the crossover, recognizing the fall below VWAP, recognizing a huge bearish divergence there off of the 200, giving you some good conviction to go ahead and try and short the market to see how far they would get, and you would have gotten a really, really nice push. Now look at where the largest bounce of the morning happened. Again, not too surprisingly, right off our roadmap level to the absolute tick there. Just unbelievable stuff. Comes right down, gives it a nice little kiss, and then we get this beautiful bounce off of there. And even after the bounce, you got this great opportunity to buy the 200 to the upside, hopefully taking profit somewhere around the previous daily low. So you got yourself another beautiful trade. Again, another beautiful opportunity. If you were to just blindly buy that roadmap level, you would have got a beautiful trade right up to. And where do the bulls have trouble on the bounce? Once again, the VWAP. I mean, this is almost like just day in, day out, the same type of price action occurs. You had a great opportunity as well to buy the pullback to the roadmap level, and again, take on very limited risk to see if you could get a little bit of a scalp right back up to VWAP there. And then as you can see, at the end of the day, we then get this big rotation back up, not necessarily holding off of anything right here, but a great opportunity at the end of the day to buy that pullback to the 200 as we were breaking back out, right? So once you should have recognized, once we started to make this low, higher low, break out through the VWAP, perfect opportunity there. And it was even one of those textbook 38% retracements of the market right there, right? So you would have gotten this really nice push at the end of the day. Again, from 44 to about 70 there for over 20-point push. So there were just a whole bunch of great opportunities yesterday. I didn't even mention all of them, but as you can see, like beautiful holds right off of the major levels we were watching that were potential support earlier in the morning. Got a beautiful pullback off of there. And then again, there's that bounce at the end of the day. So pretty cool. And then they came right back to test the high the day before, right where the market opened, right? So it was kind of like just kind of in physics, right? Didn't really go anywhere. The displacement was zero. We came right back to where everything started. So here we are coming into this morning. This big spike is the CPI news, right? So in the overnight session, it was looking pretty sad, right? It was looking like, oh no, here we are back at 50% of the previous week, just chopping around in a tight range, just like we were doing before the market opened yesterday and the day before. It just chopped and chopped and chopped right in this area. So it was kind of looking crappy, and then the CPI hit, and what do you know? They came right to our expected resistance zone here. We were talking about 79.25 to 83.25 being the next area we wanted to see the bulls get above. And the CPI news hits, they come right to it, peak just above the outer boundary there, and then here we are selling off. And what do you know? Getting a little bit of trouble right now. Let's move this over. Getting a little bit of trouble right now, right off of our scaffolding at 87. In fact, they held 87 3 or 4 times, then got right down below it and held it to the downside here. And as you can see, it's just kind of meandering back and forth right now, right around that 51.87 area. And the sell-off was pretty violent. So even on a 512 tick, there wasn't even a nice clean bounce through this whole thing. It just was a very heavy sell-off. And basically, you probably could have tried fading the FMA here, taking on about 2 points of risk to come down to where we are now. So pretty good stuff if you ask me. Again, not too surprising that the bulls peaked right into our expected major resistance area, and that's exactly where the whole thing dropped out. And now here we are again. There's that beautiful parry off the 200 once again here as we come into the open. So I'm going to leave it at that. In my opinion, just some really, really great opportunities yesterday and even in the overnight market once we started to get this big sell-off after the news. Let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames